things you need to have a real estate business which will sell over and make you more than $100,000. I don't know if $100,000 is going to change your world or change much, but it will absolutely change your business. And I really think it's quite simple. There was a radio station back in London I used to listen to a little bit, not much, called LBC. So, Victoria, if you can mute your mic, please, my friend. So what I was going to do, I've literally got these things. It's called L is one, and B is another, and C is another. So the first one I wanted to talk about is leverage and tools, okay? We are very fortunate at the company we are at to have the ability of the tools we have and how we can leverage them in our business. So today, the next 15 or so minutes maybe, I just want to rattle through these, and more of them are questions than anything, because to get us where we need to be in our business, we need to self-evaluate where we are personally and in our business to use all these tools to get to where we want to go. So I've just got a bunch of things here. Number one is a business foundation, okay? We need to have a solid foundation. As we're in the property industry, if you may have the best infrastructure in the world. If it's not on a solid foundation, it's not going to last. And the very same goes for our business, certainly here in real estate and in property. So where do your leads go? You get a lead, and I'll get to this in a minute about how you get your leads. But when you have a lead, where does it go? What does your system look like? Is it the Barry Pulver old school pen and paper option? Or is it some of the tools and systems we have? When you have a lead, where does that lead go as part of your business foundation? Question one. Which for me, the most important part of our business is not getting leads, it's the follow-up system. You guys have heard me speak about this before. So how do you do your follow-up? Again, come in with that system. When you have a lead, you've spoken to them or it's come across your desk in some capacity, what do you do with your leads and how do you follow up with those? This, for me, is the more simple part, but I think for most newer real estate agents, this is the biggest question of all. How do you get your leads, okay? Here, we are super fortunate. I've got 4 things just to EXP, which I can't guarantee anything, but it's how you can and will get leads, which will turn into business. KV Core, okay, through splash pages and landing pages. KV Core is our CRM. Added tool with that, it's our lead generator. What's so important about this is the ability, we all have our own website. You see before I put my ugly mug here up on the screen, I have my website. It's customized. I've got my tiny little town, Davidson, North Carolina here. Buyers can search for websites, etc., etc. Oh, great thing about KV Core is you can get super specific and focused and create as many infinite websites as you want, which all come back to you. They can be creating searches. They could be for open houses on the weekend. And one that I love, you can upload videos. You have like video capture pages through these splash pages, which is great. 30-second elevator pitch. You upload your video and if you want more information, or you can have a newsletter, you sign in, it's all customizable. You do that, you spend $12.99 for the first year on GoDaddy, whoisvictoriamelton.com, for example. And then you tie that to that and you have a free website for life, which has your elevator pitch. If someone wants to know more about you and your business, hey, it took you 5 minutes, it took you 4 minutes to record a video, it took you 1 minute to upload it, and you now have a website. KV Core, the infrastructure there, and we have so much training. That's why I really don't want to pick on any of these points in too much detail, but I just wanted to get into them. I'll get you all the links of everything you need to know for the highest level training of all this stuff. But through the splash and landing and search criteria and all this stuff we can do within KV Core, utilize correctly, put in front of your target audience, you will get business, and it's a very powerful way to do it. OpCity, Enya, you know well about this, doesn't cost a penny, and it is a way to get pre-screened leads. It may take a minute, and they take, I believe, 33% of referral fee at closing, but it's free. It's a way to get in front of people by simply answering your phone after OpCity puts the lead directly to you. And again, it doesn't cost a penny. Express offers. Still, as of recording this, I'm only halfway through the program. But express offers now, when the market's so good, it is interesting. When it changes in, I would speculate, 18 to 24 months, people want that iBuyer program. We have access, again, doesn't cost us a penny. We just have to go through the training here of having an iBuyer ready, willing, and able, basically. So you can go up to a house, a for sale by owner, or you can go up to a listing appointment and hey guys, let's go the conventional offer. This is everything that I offer, A, B, C, and D, which we'll get to in a minute, through the B platform here. But also, if you want an offer now, you've got to leave the country, you've got to head all the way across the country, you've got to leave because of whatever reason, job or family emergency. I've got an offer for you here. Here it is. Let's go. And then if it's one of those which they want to kind of flip on the other side, put some work in and flip it, you also get the listing. So express offers, another tremendous part to leverage your business to present your offering to a higher level. And the last one is workplace referrals. As we get bigger here at EXP, there's always going to be more people within that workplace environment looking to give referrals. Now, on the back end, you're going to get more people who want to take the referrals too. But if you have your profile up and running, if you can leverage video to send all these people, again, a 30-second elevator pitch of who you are, workplace chat them, hey, I see you're looking for a listing agent in my market, 30-second video, this is me, this is who I am. You're going to stand out from your competition and highly likely you'll get the listing. So just 4 things here internally we can do. Duplicatable and replicatable setup. This goes with the foundation of any business. We look at, and I read a really good book called The E-Myth, I believe by Michael Gerber from memory. It's about, and it speaks about the most successful small franchise in the world. You may know them as McDonald's. You can open up a McDonald's. They have this business foundation. It's duplicatable, replicatable, it's turnkey, and they've become probably the biggest known company around the world because their system is effectively idiot-proof. There are pictures of how you make the hamburger, what it looks like. This is what you do, A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z. And it is simple, and anybody can operate that. If you can run your business foundation this way and think of it, a lead isn't just a lead. The lead is, I want to say a number because as we were speaking before we recorded, Victoria, there's an emotional attachment in what we do. And I don't want to discount that. But when you're looking at a business, you need to have this foundation with a duplicatable, replicatable system. Okay, I have a lead here. This is what I do. This is where they go. Okay, now how am I going to follow up with that lead continuously to get them down effectively the funnel to when they're ready, willing, and able buyer or seller? So that is the leverage and tools part. B comes with my favorite thing in the world, although I'm not wearing anything that is right now, branding. I love branding. And there are big questions when it comes to branding, and only we individually and internally can answer this question, but we'll speak about this in a few minutes. Big question, what is your unique selling point? As a business owner, I know we're real estate agents, but we've got to see our realtor hat as a business owner. So what is your unique selling point, you to the other 10, 20,000 agents in your market? What makes you different? And why would anybody use you as opposed to the 10, 20,000 other agents in your market? Video is the answer to this next question, as you may have guessed, but how do you share your vision and your story? Social media is such a tremendous platform. It's such a terrible platform because it sucks you in and wastes your time, but it's such a tremendous platform, doesn't cost you a penny, has a global reach, and it can directly connect with your target market. So how do you share your vision and story? You can do that through video. Why not? Because unless you're sitting one-to-one with somebody, it's the most authentic, transparent way that you can tell someone who you are, what you're doing, and why effectively they want to work with you. You can ignore the third part of that story out of the way, but tell people who you are, what you're doing. Use the video platform because, again, unless you're sitting down with them, there's no way that they can see, how happy you are, your body posture, your the twinkle in your eye, all this stuff that I don't have. But the best way to get in front of people, so think about you've got to think about what your vision and your story is, but social media is such a tremendous way to leverage that. Added on to other things we have like core video and bomb to get directly into people. Just all this stuff is just thinking about branding. What makes you different? Your vision and your story are the 2 best things from my experience, which if you tell the world, you will see a return. Like for me, I put out that I was, I think it was last month as we're recording this live, one of the Success 125 top entrepreneurs here in America. And I put it out because I'm proud and I'm pretty excited, to be honest. And I got potentially business from it. I got potentially 7 buyers and listings because this is internally recorded, none of which I wanted to actually use per se, but I'm able to hopefully steer them in the right direction because people were seeing, I guess, success in part 1, and people, I believe through social media, want to be a part of and share people's success stories, but they're seeing the vision. Everything I continuously put out on social media is getting to a point where I want to change things, and they're seeing that that's actually come back to fruition. So it's a very important and interesting thing to think about. This is arguably the biggest question I'm going to speak of here. When people think of you, so when people think of Barry Paulbolt, what do they think of? I want them to think of someone who is doing big things and trying to change the real estate industry around the world. they may think of some guy that just gets on video too often and doesn't do anything. So it's very interesting that you want to put their not perception, you want to put the reality of what you are, who you're doing, again, your vision and your story, but then ask people, what do they think of you? When they think of you, they think of, it's very important, because that in a nutshell is branding. And the last thing here, just to whiz through, is C, or in reverse, I should say C, which is community. Okay, I speak about things on a worldwide scale, but I built a real estate business here in my small town of Davidson, North Carolina. So community, which is really what the answer to the last question should be. When they think of you, they should think of, or what you want to get people to think of, is you as the local real estate agent in Winston-Salem, the local real estate agent in Houston. It's all about community. That's what we do, is what we build our foundation on. That's why we're part of our local MLS. Everything we do, I believe, in our industry should be about community. So speaking on community a little bit here, what is your community? Is it a local geographic area? Is it through religious affiliations? Is it through your hobbies or sports? Or is it through your education and schools? What exactly is your community? Drill down, be hyper-focused on what your community is. And then, how are you seen within your community? Much like the last question for branding, what do people see you as in your community? Do they see you as a real estate agent or a pillar? I don't think that's so important. You want them to see you as someone who provides value and education to help people, to enhance people. The relationships you have, you always want to be developing them and adding value to someone for where they are in their life. And then the second part of that question is, well, are you? How are you seen in the community? How do you want to be seen? And are you there? It's kind of that alignment, right? If you want to be doing this and you're doing this, well, you're going to be further here. But if you want to be seen in the community as the go-to expert, full stop, restaurants, real estate, coffee shops, and you're providing value doing that, then that is exactly where you want to be. And that's the synergy you need to get to. What value do you give? I mentioned about coffee shops and restaurants because, as you guys know, I love the idea of getting on video, introducing, hey, it's a local coffee shop. Let me introduce you to Bob, the coffee shop owner. Hey, Bob, just wanted to say, Barry Borby here, the Exceptional Brand with EXP, long-time customer of yours. Can you tell us a little about why you opened up this coffee shop here in Davidson, North Carolina? Can you tell us about your most popular drink? Can you tell us about your vision for the community? 3 things off the top of my head. A 3-minute video, you put that on social media, you tag the business, and I guarantee you that video will do better than any other videos you've done before, because you're tagging in the local business, you're also asking them to share it, and you're showing that you are an expert in the community. So what value do you give? And I'm not just talking about real estate. Hey, the market this week, Davidson, there were 30 homes that sold, there were 12 that, okay, there's a time and a place for that. But you've got to be seen, in my opinion, you want to be seen as a community expert. It's bigger than that. So what is your community? If it does come to your kid and goes to school, well, who can you interview at school? What value can you give through school? Can you create a next door for your local community? Or can you provide a Facebook group for the mums and dads of Davidson Elementary? Whatever it is, look to provide value for your community. And your community doesn't have to be education, doesn't have to be food and drink, can be your local location. It's, again, depends on where you want your business to go, but just look at how best can I add value through my community. Who is your local digital mayor? So look in your markets. Who is it that's seen as, maybe they're not a top real estate agent, but typically speaking, if you're the digital mayor, you'll be the byproduct of being a very good, very successful real estate agent. By that, I mean all those, let's look at Main Street community here in Davidson. Let's look at the local coffee shop, all that stuff, and putting it through their social media funnel for their branding. That is what I mean by digital mayor. When you think of Charlotte, North Carolina, who do you think of? Who's the person that's trying to put that place on the map through their content, through just trying to give back and be that community pillar? Who is the digital mayor in your market? A little bit of research is needed. And what do they do well? Okay, what is the one thing they do well? Are they getting on video? Are they just presenting the local communities and it looks very good? Are they using drone videography? Are they just being consistent in their approach? Our industry is about consistency and persistency. Are they just being consistent in what they are doing? And then think about it from you. What would you like to see? Because again, we're talking about your community. No one knows your community better than you. No one knows my community here better than me. So I see Sally doing, being a pretty good digital mayor by doing what she's doing. But What I don't see as a local community, well, someone in a local community, is A, B, C, and D. So how can I tailor in the good of what they're doing with what they're lacking, what I would like to see within my community, and do something, I would say better, but just different. Okay, so look at, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I know I profess that I love to do that, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just look at what's happening, how that wheel is moving, and see how you can put your own spin on it to make things go together. And the very last thing here goes exactly with that. What does your community need? So you're in your community. No one hopefully knows your community better than you, even if you've moved there more recently, which actually is an added advantage because you're new to the community. So you can see what is going on and you can see through that new pair of eyes. See, there's always a spin on things, but what does your community need? And ultimately, as the local real estate agent, and we want to be the local digital mayor, how can you add to that? If you can answer all these questions, leverage the tools and the systems we have here internally, EXP, we're the luckiest agents in the world to have this stuff. So let's leverage them. The splash pages, landing pages, OpCity, express offers, workplace, all of that. Use that because it doesn't cost us a penny outside of what we already pay. Use it. And then figure out what makes you different, what your brand is, and what ultimately separates you from the rest of the quote competition. I've always thought our biggest competition is in our head, but let's just say from your local real estate agents. And arguably the most important thing of all is in your community, what does the community need? How can you fit into that? And how can you get aligned to be the local community expert? If you can put those three things together, I can guarantee you your business will absolutely thrive, and likely you will double your business next year, along with just some strategizing and mentoring and just kind of thinking outside the box. That's it. That's what we have today.